What's up? We are back. What's up, Daniel, man? This is another episode of the newly named The Big Game podcast, where we talk about everything during a big game and we break down basketball in a different way on this podcast, man. How you been doing, man? What's going on with you?
Good, man. Been a good holiday break, good Christmas, good New
Yeah.
Year's. How about you?
Hey, man, been doing well, man. Had a great break, man. A lot of family time,
Yeah.
a lot of good eating, a lot of bad eating, a lot of cakes and pies and cookies and all type of good stuff. So getting back in that swing of thing in the new year, working out, man, staying active, staying fit, but happy to be back on the podcast with you, bro.
Yes, sir. I'm mad I missed all of the cakes and pies. We normally up there in the house up there chilling with y'all. We missed it this year, man.
Yeah. My mama was here. She was throwing down. She made a couple of pies, and we ordered some stuff, some cakes, some pound cakes, and so no, it was good, man. We enjoyed it. Yeah, no, for sure, man. So, hey, man, let's get into it, man. It's been a minute since we, talk turkey, talk basketball, and let's get into it. Michigan basketball, man. What's your thoughts on where they're at in the season right now? We've had at least probably about 3 or 4 games since we last spoke about it, man. Just give me your thoughts right now on the state of Michigan basketball.
Nah, they're in a great spot right now. They're in a great spot, undefeated in conference, 5-game win streak. Those guys are looking better and better. Seems like they still have their stretches where kind of have some silly turnovers and some stretches of play like, man, what's going on? But when you look at those stretches where they build 18-point leads, 15-point leads, man, they look as good as anybody else in the country at times. So, and I think they're in a really good spot. They continue to develop. Guys continue to define their roles and get better in their roles. And so we'll see, man. I know to start the season, I predicted a certain thing. I think now I'm definitely willing to revise that as far as what this team is capable of.
A little revision on your prognostication early, right?
Yeah, like I said, I never like to speak in definitive terms when it comes to basketball because I believe in work, right? I believe in guys putting in work. I believe in teams being able to put in work and get better. And these guys have definitely gotten better as the season progressed. So it was really good.
Yeah, I mean they put themselves in a very, very good position, right? I mean, early on they lost those 3 early close games by a total of like 5 points total. So you can see that they were competing at a high level in all of those games and were able to get some quality, some road wins, some games against some ranked opponents. And now in the Big Ten, you come into a 5-0, that puts you in prime position to do some big things. So what you see out there on the court, very, very promising. I know I had the prognostication early of a definite tournament team. I mean that's out the window now. I think these guys are a lock for that. Now it is, the question is how high is that ceiling for this team? Is this team a Elite 8? Is it a Sweet 16 team? Is it a second weekend? How far can this team go? And I think with the improvements that they're making, it's going to be a huge thing to see how far they go with it, man. And the big story has been what? The 2 7-footers, man, what they call it, Area 51, the 7-foot duo that's been, causing a lot of havoc and matchup nightmares for everybody. So what's your thoughts on them? And then we'll get into a little film breakdown as well with these guys too, so we can, kind of break it down and show you guys how these guys are being so effective out there on the court.
I think as a duo, they've been dominant, right? I think we talked about earlier in the season about areas of improvement as far as physicality and being tougher in certain areas and rebounding. And they've done all of that, right? They've blocked shots. They've rebounded at a high clip. They've dominated the paint. Danny Wolf has been a really good facilitator and a playmaker for this team as well on the perimeter. So I think their versatility and their strength and size and power, I think combined makes them probably one of the better big man duos. I want to say it's the best big man duo in the conference and one of the better big man duos in the country as well. So I've watched a lot of basketball over the last, month or so, as far as college basketball. And I think I haven't really seen any other teams with one good 7-footer, let alone 2, until you get to the Dukes and the Kansases and the truly elite teams, they have, elite bigs, right? But for the most part, I think the teams that we're going to face, they're not going to be able to handle those guys going down the stretch of the season.
Yeah, and you hit the nail on the head, right? Because what you got is two guys with two unique and different skill sets, right? So it's one of those things where other teams you might have two bigs, but they don't have the skill set that these guys have. What the skill set that Danny Wolf presents is something that people are not used to seeing, and it's something unique and it's hard to guard and prepare for when you haven't seen it. And the leaps and stuff that Vlad Goldin has made has been incredible so far. Like we said earlier in the season, it was like, hey, we need to get better in those muscle areas, rebounding out of your area, finishing it around the rim, and he has knocked it out of the park as far as all of those things and improving. So let's get into the to film of this, man. This is a good segue to get into the film. I had this film to the stage real quick, and as we can see right here, man, this is just it's that pick and roll we're talking about, especially when it happens. And I'll take this back just a little bit. When it happens below the break, right? Below the break of the three-point line, it's a very, very hard guard. So this is a too big pick and roll. You make a mistake, dude fall down. Another guy got to help. Now I'm dropping it off to Vlad, and he's doing an excellent job of closing his shoulders off to defenders and finishing.
Hey, go back to that really quick. And it's something that we talked about early in the year, right? With the 4-5 pick and roll. Like you said, it's below the break or in the scoring area. You know what I mean? You want to, or when they run it from the center, it's closer to the free throw line and not, above the 3-point line or straddling the 3-point line, which makes it more dangerous when you have two guys of that size, especially one being the playmaker like Danny Wolf is. So anytime you say that low in that scoring area like that, it's almost impossible to guard at times, depending on the angle. So
no, for sure. Yeah, you come off that, you get a good screen, dude fall down, and there you go.
Like one dribble, he's at the elbow making a decision, right?
Yeah.
And it's one of those situations where bigs aren't taught to hedge hard, or they're not taught to switch hard like guards are. So you put teams in a bit of a conundrum when you put them there. Like, what do I want to do with my bigs, right? And it seems simple, like we should switch it, but those guys with, like you said, with those guys' skill set, Danny Wolf's ability to handle the ball and stay tight to the screen, and Vlad's ability to set a good screen, man, those guys they playing high level basketball in that situation.
Yeah, very high level. And this is just another example right here. If we run the clip back just a little bit of just Danny Wolf coming off a simple, in their action, it's just a flare screen for a big 7-foot guy to be able to come off this, get his feet set, and knock that shot down is a very, very impressive thing and a weapon that you got to prepare for other teams. And this is just where he's been really good too. And I think it's another place where Vlad right here, if you get him the ball in the post, and UCLA, you don't get any digs or doubles, and you let a guy and he's got his arms up like he's surrendering in the post. This is what you're supposed to do, man. Put this dude in the bucket, man. Hook dunk it, put him in the dunk it, put him in the bucket, yell, scream at him, and go down the court and set that tone.
All right, pause it right here. So let's address something real quick, right? Mick Cronin has taken a lot of flack for what he said after the game, right? And I think when you just
rightfully so.
And right, I think when I don't necessarily agree, but that's a different. We'll talk about that later, right? I think it's one of those situations where when you're a coach and you see this type, they can't practice this, right? And I know Michigan is a good 3-point shooting team, but there's no way on God's green earth. Like as a coach, I'm sitting here watching it. I sit here watching and get mad, right? Because I know no good defensive coach is teaching this. So let it run. Watch how many dribbles he takes, and no one makes a move toward. Well, it's a little bit late now, but he takes on the previous possession. Now he takes like 3 or 4 dribbles, and nobody comes to help. Even when he's into his move now, right? Catch.
Yep, he got it. He caught it.
Yeah.
Boom.
Somebody like you, even if you don't come initially, he puts the ball down. Somebody has to be coming down. Somebody has to be digging down. I'm not saying double, but he took 2 dribbles. Yeah, the guy falls, and everybody else is like just watching him dunk the ball.
Yeah, but once
basketball.
Once Bilodeau, go ahead.
The guy guarding the basketball, guarding Vlad, is super soft. He flops and gets dunked on, and the guys watching him like he takes 2 dribbles and nobody digs down to make Vlad think or make him pick the ball up or anything. It's just, hey, we're going to watch him play one-on-one in the post. That's extremely soft and really bad defense on UCLA's part. And Vlad did exactly what he's supposed to do.
Yeah,
put
definitely.
him in the rim again.
Put him in the rim again. And when you're trying to take that charge on a big fella, you got to definitely do it on the third bump. You can't do it on the second bump.
There you go.
Referees are going to always think that that's a flop on that situation. But you got to love that. I mean,
Yeah, they
two dribbles, you know, it was a semi-stunt by my man right here guarding Amari Burnett, but it didn't affect the play at any type of way, right? He didn't feel that pressure, and that's what happens. You know, dude drop step, hook dunk on you, and then again, he get it in the same spot, he flop, and you dunk the basketball. So what you're talking about and what Mick Cronin was talking about had some warning. And this is just, if he can expand his game right here to be able to knock down step-in threes on occasion, then that adds a level to it that's very impressive. And this play right here is one of the tougher plays that you can make for a big fella, right? You're coming off a screen where you're slipping it and you're catching the ball on a blind catch, right? So you got to locate the ball in the air. And as I'm catching it, I'm turning and seeing where the defense is. And he does a great job of coming down on balance, holding his feet, putting his shoulder into the guy, and finishing high off the glass with a soft touch with his offhand, the left hand. So that's a tough play. And this is beautiful right there. Like, for Danny Wolf, I love the fact that he's coming down and he's using this physicality in transition. Boom, bump this dude. He's falling back, flailing his arms, and then you got big Vlad Goldin running the lane like he does excellently. And this off the dribble one-handed pass,
hook
pass on time, on target, is very impressive. And then you sit on his head and you say, hey, you can smell what I had for lunch.
Run it back one time. We'll go back. We will point out. I'm gonna just say Mick Cronin, right? When we talk about what he was complaining about, I'm gonna just say Mick Cronin. Watch Bilodeau right here. We can rewind it back and try. Who is Bilodeau guarding? And that's why I like watch it. Like you got two guys staring at the ball in transition. Okay, you're trying to get the ball under control. You got a little, what is that?
You got a little brush screen by Justin Pippen. Right, so this is a switch. All right. So now
not Bilodeau, big fella at the top of the key. Who is he?
Yeah, big fella. Yeah, he got lost, right? He got lost. To a point of attack, he don't know who he's guarding. He let Vlad run right behind him.
Man, can you explain what are you supposed to do if you're the big kid that Vlad just walks past for a dunk? How are you supposed to guard in transition as a big?
Yeah, for sure. Let's come back to it. He does a good job early, right? And if you see number 15, all right, he's trying to get to the level of the ball. Mm-hmm. But now he loses sight of his primary man and who he's guarding, and he's trying to, with his eyes on the basketball over here. So you still got to stay to the level of the ball. And then right now he should be meeting Vlad Goldin above the free throw line to impede his progress so he doesn't have just a straight line drive to the middle of the rim. But right now you can see, look at his legs straight up. They look like almost about to be hyperextended. So you got to get down in the stance, be ready to see both man and ball and get to the level of the ball. But now he's ball staring. Vlad gets behind him. He don't know who he's guarding. Is he guarding Vlad? Is he guarding Justin Pippen? Because these guys messed up their communication on the switch over here. So one trigger leads to the next, and that's why you get this dunk on your head, and you get a little
hell of a pass, hell of a finish. And you get a little
something on top of your head, right? And that's what happened when you make those type of mistakes.
Yes, sir.
Heck of a pass, though. And that's the skill set that Danny Wolf shows, that off the dribble, being able to make that pass on time, on target, whip it.
I love
catching it, bouncing up.
Him in the mid post making those type of decisions. I think he's more unstoppable than from out here.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
4 to 5 connection. That's been their one thing that's kind of been unguardable almost to a certain extent. I think teams do a good job sometimes late when they can see it coming, but when it's just in the flow, kind of like this is another beautiful pass. That's hard to guard. Now,
your legs off the dribble.
Go ahead. Now, they did a better job coming over weak side, but once again, Mick Cronin, the ball screens in the weak side corner, and we're hugged. Once again, I understand Michigan is a really good 3-point shooting team, but one thing I think you and I talked about before is you can't give up everything. You can't give up the dive to the rim and give up 15 to 17 threes like teams. You have to be able to be physical and take something away. Okay, if we're going to leave the paint open, we can't allow them to make 12 to 15 threes either. We got to be able to close out and chase guys off the 3-point line. And so when they don't do that, we've been like our offense puts them in a lot. So the floor is extremely spaced right here. So they're already put in a tough position, right? But those guys guarding the 2 weak side guys, they should be in the middle of the paint, Chris, right?
At this point, if that's their game plan, right? It depends on what your game plan is. If you think you're switching this screen, or hey, all 4 or 5 screens we're gonna switch.
Yeah.
Then you might be a little bit more shaded to your man than not. But depending on what their game plan is, normally you want to be on that midline. So these guys on the weak side are closer to be able to help if this action gets messed up. So yes, like he reacted so late that now he getting dunked on
again.
And it's too late. And what you like to see is that right there. I know the guys talked about it a little bit, is that mad Vlad. When Vlad is mad, it's good things going on.
Yeah.
You got to love that.
Now you see just the weak side, like great pass, great
that's
look.
a heck of a pass off the dribble.
Look at the level of the ball, Chris. I'm going to just say Mick Cronin again, right? No active hands, no alertness. I'm gonna just close out my hands around my lower than my armpits, down by my waist, and watch him whip a ball eye level past both of us. Right? It's a guard and a big. Now Vlad has a hell of a screen, hell of a one-handed pass right here, but it's eye level. Right? Where's the defensive discipline? Where's the active hands? Where's the help side? And like I said, when you don't do all these things, which Michigan's offense puts you in a position to make these mistakes, right? These guys have been great at taking advantage and finishing and like he gets a 3-point play right here.
Yeah, most definitely. And sometimes because Danny Wolf can throw that thing between his legs and throw it off the dribble, like sometimes even those active hands can't get to it because the timing is not there. So I agree with you. Defensively, you got to be active. You should never be able to get a ball right there in that eye level. But his ability to throw it off schedule, and off the dribble, is something that's very impressive. So he's active. His hands are kind of there. Oh, and he just
he was. Yes, sir. Mad Vlad, great pass, another great finish, man. These guys, like, it's almost like a telepathy at this point, right?
Mm-hmm. For sure. And that's another Vlad to Danny.
That was the reverse.
That was the reverse. So both of these guys are feeding off each other.
And I have this play right here on when we get to our Tre Donaldson segment, because we got to give Youngblood some love too.
No, that's a great play. That's a great play. Another blind catch by Vlad Goldin, where he's keeping his feet, landing on balance, finishing again with the left, which is beautiful.
And it looks almost identical to
the play before.
Yeah.
And that's just a great play right there. Way to keep your head up, draw 2 defenders, hit the open guy. Same thing. Danny Wolf has his head up, hit an open shooter in the corner, on time, on target, in rhythm. And this is where, like, Vlad is really, really improved from early in the season, right? A lot of these catches he used to have in this area, he caught it and looked a little bit off balance, looked a little bit awkward. Now he's catching it on balance. He's closing that shoulder off to the defender, and he's really finishing with strength and touch around the rim, which is a tough combination to have as a big fella, to have strength and then that touch off the backboard. And this is just a heck of a play. But as we talked about when we watched this clip earlier, a little bad defense as well by Eric Daly on this.
Go back to it and watch the guy guard. Like, bro, what? So who are you guarding right now? You know you're guarding Michigan's best offensive threat right now.
Yeah.
So
the ball is gone. It's in the air. Now Eric Daly he's got to surge back into Danny Wolf and close that airspace up. He's back here waiting to see what happened, and it's shoot. Now it's too late. I'm in my shot pocket.
You pass away. You have to surge back into your your man's body. You don't have to necessarily deny if that's not your principles, right? But you definitely got to close the airspace right there and not allow an easy catch into it. Just pull it. And he really had whatever he wanted. If Danny wanted to catch and turn the corner on the other side of the handoff, he could have done that too because he was just in no man's land. So it's, like I said, the offense pushed you in some tough positions, but I think a lot of what Mick Cronin said was absolutely right. Like there's no intensity, no attention to detail, no pride in some of these instances, right? Like how many times you go get dunked on before I start rotating over and playing good sound defense, right? And they never did. That's why he finished with 36 this game. So
I never did. It's tough. But if you and I don't want to get too much off top, but if you Mick Cronin, do you do that publicly? Or do you do that to your team in the locker room? Do you call out everybody in your organization publicly and say, I'm the only one with intensity. I'm the only one that comes in to do this. I'm the only one that does that. Or do you go to your team and you do that privately and you challenge those guys in a way that make them want to buy into what you're talking about? Because in my opinion,
culture, you do it both ways.
Yeah, in my opinion, you don't call out your team publicly and then basically place the blame on them, saying that I'm the only one to come in with energy. I'm the only one. Well, you picked all these coaches, you picked these players, and it's your job to coach these guys to buy into that level. So I don't think that was what you're saying is correct as far as some of the attention to details and the intensity on defense, but how you approach that. If I'm Mick Cronin, you sound like somebody who's crying. Go in there and coach, right?
Yeah. And maybe he is. Maybe that's the realization he's having in the moment. Like I gotta make some changes around here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But don't do it publicly.
I know for me, I have no problem with it because everything else is done publicly. As long as you're doing it in private and explaining it in more detail why, and these people understand why I'm saying this, then I don't mind him doing it publicly either. I think one thing about just human nature, when you say things publicly, it also holds his feet to the fire as well. Like you said, you did hire these guys, you did bring these players in, and now that you've announced this publicly, you've spoken this publicly, there's like something in human nature that makes you want to be better or fix that or change that or something. So we'll see, man. Hopefully I'm not a UCLA fan. I don't care what they do, but I don't mind.
But since that, they lost 2 in a row. I mean, 2 in a row, but since that,
the next game too.
Yeah. So, and he got kicked out of that game.
Yeah. So I don't mind. Rick Barnes said something similar, like we pay you to make shots. You're not making shots. That's why you're sitting over here.
It's a different era. It's a different era now because dudes are pros. They're semi-pro. They get paid to kind of play, and when you're not producing at the level, then I think it adds an extra level of frustration, and I think people are approaching it more so like that than these guys are kids at a college. It's like, no, you dudes getting paid now, so y'all gotta come on, do your job. But this is another great possession by Danny Wolf, man. Anytime he can get into the mid-post like this, he can still use his ability to pass and see the floor. And then obviously, man, this is nice, just drop step away from the defender, hook straight in. If he can get to that more often, man, I really like him in those areas too. And this is just Vlad being a beast. And like you say, Mick Cronin, free throw line block out, he gets the offensive rebound and puts it in.
Hey, the one with Danny Wolf in the mid post, bro, he's one of those situations where like again, they didn't come down and dig, but he has why I love him I've seen him have the jump hook over the left shoulder, but at 7 feet he also has the turnaround jump shot going the other way, so he has a counter for it, and so it makes him hard. And that combined with his passing ability, that makes him hard to guard. He has a quick spin down there. He has some nice stuff from the mid post that it can still take advantage of his passing ability. I think it's something they can go to in late game situations, as the season progresses and the games become more important, conference tournament games and NCAA tournament. That's something that they could possibly go to in crunch time. You know what I mean? Danny Wolf in the mid post, that'll be extremely effective in my opinion.
Yeah, both of those guys, instead of playing from the outside in, you can get that inside out game with Vlad and Danny. When you have those possessions where, we need a bucket or we need a foul or we need a good possession, putting the balls in those guys' hands in those mid post or low post positions, I think is a good thing that can kind of calm calm that surge of energy and emotion, calm the team down, and then quell some of those droughts or runs that sometimes that happens with those guys. So, and this is another example of him just being patient. But like you said, no real resistance, right, from the big fella. No digs from any of these perimeter players. You got two shooters out here, though. Tre and Damari has been knocking it down. So these guys are like, and in this game, they've been knocking them down at a very high clip. So they're probably a little hesitant to leave them. But like you said, a little bit more resistance. But this is exactly what you should do. Bag him down, put him in the bucket, get you a foul. We'd like to end one on that. But he's been a great free throw shooter as well, knocking down free throws, as you can see right there. So a big fella that can do this and knock down free throws is a heck of a weapon for Michigan basketball.
I think the better they get in those situations, which they've been great at already, right? I think that's what kind of makes their offense damn near unstoppable and hard to guard. Because I always tell people it's like running the football, right? In football, late game situations, you need 3-4 yards. You want to keep the clock going. Or in basketball games, you got to lead late game situations, or like you said, a tight game, and we need to slow the game down, get a good possession. You can go down there and get a good shot, 2 points, or get to the free throw line, stop the clock, score with the clock stopped, and keep the game, keep the game going. So I think it's one of those things where, like, the more they develop that, because they're a great outside shooting team, like not necessarily they have the 4 or 5 pick and roll down, but those back to the basket situations, there's only like a couple teams in the country that play that way are capable of handling that, right? And they're all elite teams. I think Michigan is on their way kind of to establish definitely an elite offensive team. So I think if they can kind of, like you said, that'll quell some of those turnovers as well. Get the big man in touch, slow the game down a little bit, let him work like we see in the picture right here. That's basketball. That's high-level basketball. So,
but again, as you see, now patience, but you just say Mick Cronin, no activity from any of these defensive perimeter guys to put any. Oh, now he goes, but it's too late. He's already got 2 feet in the paint at that point.
Yeah.
Right.
I think, bro. I'm gonna just say this. You were a really good college player. You've had, a pro. You played in the NBA for a few years before your unfortunate injuries. Me knowing your game, in them situations, I don't remember you ever getting 4 or 5 dribbles to the middle of the floor and being able to just go with your move, right? I think if you and Courtney Sims had them type of opportunities, y'all would have been first team all conference every year with that type of defense, bro. That's kind of
and it's that's a game to game thing, and definitely people will game plan to do a better job of defending those guys, but they really took advantage of it at UCLA. And I think what really slowed those defenders down was the way Michigan shot the ball early. I mean, they was like dropping from everywhere. And as a player, you always got that in your back of the mind, like, dang, they just hit 5 threes. I ain't about to go down there and dig in here and let my man shoot, which is selfish defense. But that creeps into what you were saying, Mick Cronin. Mick Cronin.
Hey, man, help down, man, and close out. They're not going to shoot like that and if they do, you got to take your hat off to them, right? But
and UCLA definitely took their hat off because they kept shooting that thing.
They took their hat off, they took their jersey off, and then Mick Cronin finished addressing them in the press conference. So they got what they deserved.
100%, man. But hey, we talked a lot about this big to big connection. But we got to talk about, especially with you on the podcast right now, man, OG point guard Daniel Horton. And, hey, man, you even got a couple shout-outs in the game, man. I was watching UCLA. You got a shout-out in the UCLA game for the last time when we was there, and we played them when we won in UCLA. And then I was watching the Washington game, man, and you got a shout-out for the highest point total for, what was that, a Wolverine on the road? I think Vlad was 36 and you was 39.
Yeah.
You were shooting that thing. I don't know if I got any assists from you on that game. Probably got a couple of them off the rim, rebound, but yeah.
Hey, sometimes you gotta let it fly.
Get it off the rim, but no, got a couple of shout outs on the telecast. So, hey man, we want to get into the Tre Way, man, with Tre Donaldson and his impact on the Wolverines overall as a whole, and his impact on just how he makes everything easier for everybody else. Like we've been talking a lot about that big to big and the Wolf and Goldin, but I think his impact on the game has been just as important as those big guys, man. So I'm gonna let you take the form on some of these clips that we got with Tre, man, and how he's been playing, man.
Yeah, I think with Tre, one of the things that we talked about coming into the season was he had the physical ability, he had his jump shot looked nice, he had everything that, like, all the qualities of being a high level guard, right? It was just a question if he had the mentality to go from the 6 or 7 point per game guy he was at Auburn to being the leader and the focal point of another basketball team in Michigan. And I think he's done a great job of answering those questions up to this point. So we're going to look at some of these clips from the UCLA game and look at some of just the point guard plays that he made. There's nothing spectacular. Some of these plays are spectacular, but for the most part, I want to look at the point guard plays that he's made and the shot making that he's displayed that's allowed him to take his game to another level. So I think we'll start right here early in the UCLA game. Quick push and transition. This was part of Vlad's highlight clips, right? And it's a simple point guard play. Draw two, hit the man on the, get rid of the ball quickly, hit the man on the slip, right? Those are simple plays that you can make as a point guard to get your big man easy, put him in advantageous situations where he's getting basically a layup over a smaller player. So, that's one of a very heady point guard play. All right. Another one. One thing as a point guard, right, we always talk about as point guards, how good are you against pressure? And against the best point guards, you can't pressure me. You can't. Whether if I catch the ball in front of you, if I catch the ball and fake one way, get a run and start at Tre's size at 6'1", 6'2", 200 pounds, however big he is, you can't pressure me. No, you can't. So he catches perfect example here, right? Did I go back too far? No, this is back to the Vlad clip. I apologize. Right here. UCLA scores. They want to jump into their full court pressure. Full court pressure. Hey, Mick Cronin. Number two's Mick Cronin. I'm gonna face front the guy. I'm staring at my bench as he's breaking to get open. Take off. Point guard play. Get your big fella easy shot in the corner. Now UCLA has to decide if we want to continue to press, right? Like, you do that a couple times, I guarantee you they come out to press.
Yeah, you come out of that. You break that easy like that for a three, you out of that.
Namari with the slow push off the missed free throw, get the ball where the ball belongs, get us in our set. Shot fake, boom, find your big. Great point guard play right there. And one. Great point guard play, extremely unselfish. Push in transition. This is why I love him in transition. Simple point guard play, Chris. People overlook. People think when you get in transition, especially these guys, I got to make all these spectacular plays and knife the ball through people. No, man. Nope. I know my guy Namari is shooting the ball lights out from three this year. Let's get a simple point guard play.
Simple play, man. Push it to the top of the key, 3-point line area, make a decision. On time, on target pass to a shooter in rhythm. Those are the plays that coaches love. Those are the plays that get unlooked. Like you said, those are not the highlight plays, but those are the plays that are just, look, on target, in rhythm, right in the shooting pocket, knock it in.
Point guard play. All right, once again, hey, we're going to pressure. This is what you should think. We got the momentum. We down 18, came back, now we up 4. We got the momentum. Let's jump in, let's stay in our press. Let's jump in our press. Once again, you cannot pressure me. Now he catches the ball in front. Hey, one move, I'm gone. Get the ball across. Now we into our stuff. Simple point guard play. Start the motion. Start the set. It comes back to him. Step into the knock it down. That's the first big one he made. My man fall asleep again. I'm gonna just say Mick Cronin. Let's go back. Let's just say Mick Cronin right here. Who are you guarding?
Yeah, first of all, who is he guard? What is he doing? I don't know if they teach that, but that's a recipe for disaster right there. When you got almost your back turned, staring down weak side action, and you got a wild player with the ball.
Got a couple buckets throwing it off his leg, off his butt, and catching it and laying it up right there, right? He has to flip his feet, and he can still take away the pass to the middle of the floor or the weak side, which is what he's supposed to be doing, right? And when you play that defense, we're gonna say Mick Cronin, you give up, pie out.
Mm-hmm.
Easy work. Another big one. All right. He didn't responsible for buckets getting us back up 6 after UCLA went up, right? Get us into our offense late game. Big man close out, jab step, get you off me. Like he has a hand up, but you're not, the guys hit 3 of them already. Come on, man. Pressure. Tre did exactly what he's supposed to. Jab step, back up a little bit. This is the one. This is Mick Cronin right here. I'm gonna pause it where Mick Cronin, he's hit 4. I know he's out of the typical scoring area, right? But son, he's hit 4. There, right? He's hit 4. And then you close out with your hands down. Make him pay, Tre. Make him pay. Let's watch. Let's track the point guard on defense right here. Tre gives the ball up. It's a little cross match, so big fella trying to get back to Walters.
Trying to get back to Walters. Yeah, the point guard got a hold for a count to make sure that Eric Bailey can get back and cover Walters at the rim. All right, so that's the reason why he's a little late. But now you see it happening, and what you said, you got to get there. But that's a heck of a play.
Yeah,
that's a heck of a play by Tre, taking advantage of some poor defense.
Yep. Now, point guard play. I cannot. What did we say a second ago, Chris? I cannot, as a point guard, I cannot be pressed.
Cannot be
full
pressed.
Court or half court.
The 1-3-1.
1-3-1, where they're trying to extend the guy at the top of the 1-3-1 to give a little pressure on the ball into a trap. You cannot trap me or press me as a point guard.
And that's a tough pass. You think about somebody hitting a half court shot. That's basically what that is. That's a pass past the half court line. That's got to be on the money for Vlad to go up there and be able to finish. If it's off a couple feet this way, a couple feet that way, a couple inches that way, maybe that's a different result. But that's a heck of a play by Tre to put that on time, on target, on the money from half court.
Hit the corner of the board. That's a, like you said, a perfect pass for a live pass. Watch that. What the ball is. Corner of the board.
Right there.
Perfect.
If it's too high, maybe Vlad don't get it. If it's off to the left, maybe he don't. If it to the right, it hit the rim and it bounced the other way. So heck of a pass, heck of a play. Great recognition by both of those guys.
This is what I like about him. Like, some point guards got to be ball dominant, right? I like a point guard. We spoke about this on Dimes. Like, okay, if you're not going to be ball dominant, you got to show the IQ to be able to play off the ball and still be effective.
Well, hold on. When you start liking those type of point guards, because I can remember you had the ball in your hand. No, I'm just messing with you. You ain't give the ball up, no. When you start liking, like in your old age. No.
Hey, look, off the ball, another point guard play. I don't have to be the guy to make some spectacular play, right?
Just the one more.
That's the live again. All right. We in our zone offense. Ball fake. I love the use of ball fakes against when Washington wins zone.
Yeah, anyone 3-1 any zone, ball fakes.
Ball fakes, penetrating dribbles, penetrating passes, right? That's what you want against the zone. And they got all of that, right? Quick whip by Tre to the shooter. And it's going in. That's great basketball. The point guard keeping the ball moving. Probing, hell of a bounce pass through 2 people. Another point guard play. Get your big man down in the lane and one.
And that's another, like I said, for a big fella, all the big fellas out there, that blind catch with a rotating defender and to be able to finish on balance with strength and that thing in with touch is very impressive.
Yeah, like his back is to the rim and the rotating defender. That's big time.
That's big time. Catch it. Blind catch. On balance. 2 feet. Power up. Close that shoulder off to absorb the contact and finish with touch at the rim is an impressive feat by Vlad.
Keeping the ball ticking. Ball fakes. Shot fakes. Hey, bro, you move the ball like this when you playing against his own, you just know the ball's supposed to go in.
At immediate, one more. Don't touch it. It's a half a second hold, and I'm getting it to my wide open shooter in the corner, Sam Walters, who's a knockdown from that area.
The ball's supposed to go in on that, Chris. Let's watch that one more time before we end. This will be the last clip we watch.
So
it all starts with point guard play, and Jones does a great job as well too.
Yeah, everybody touches it. All 5 guys touch the ball. There go your boy in the mid post again. You love that.
I love that.
Hit him.
The ball's supposed to go in, Chris. Basketball karma.
That's basketball karma right there.
The ball's supposed to go in. Paya. That's great basketball, man. These guys have done a great job of sharing the ball and moving the ball and playing to their strengths. And like I said, I'm definitely willing to revise some of the predictions and the statements I made early in the season because they've earned it, right? And I think they'll continue to earn it as the season goes on.
Yeah, this team is improving, game by game, week by week. You can see it. You can taste it. You can smell it. You can feel it. The fans are feeling it in the stands. You can see it by the way they're playing and the way they're competitive and connected out there on the floor. And it's going to be exciting to see down there. The Big Ten is going to be a fun thing to watch to see if they can, have an opportunity to pull out this Big Ten championship title. I think they're right there in the running.
Yeah.
And if everything goes the way it should go and they continue to play the way they can and capable of playing, they'll be right there in the mix, man. I see them being at the top of this league at the end of the year. For sure, man. So let's talk about one more thing, man. This is our bold statement of the day. I know we've had conversations about this, and this has went from one extreme to the next on people's opinions, especially your opinion. So this is the bold statement of the day. Danny Wolf is a lottery pick.
No. Not right now. Like I said, I do not like to speak in definitive terms because guys can always put in the work to change their narrative. I don't believe he's a lottery pick. Do I believe he's an NBA player? Yes. Do I believe he's a lottery pick? No. But that can change as they make their run. If he goes up against some of these guys that are supposedly projected lottery picks and he plays well and he does well, he can become that. But like I said, I think previously my prediction was based on not having seen him play against high-level competition on a consistent basis. B, just looking at his athletic profile versus what teams are drafting, his athletic and age profile versus what teams are drafting early in the draft, right? That early in the draft. And like I said, that's pretty much it. Like I've never been questioned if he could, what guys can do. Like I said, I don't speak in definitive terms like that, but I just always question those things in relation to the NBA, not college basketball. So that's been, I think he's not, I'm not willing to say he's a lottery pick, but I definitely think he's an NBA player.
Yeah, I think he is playing himself into a position right now where he can be a surefire first round pick. I think he's playing himself into that. Now, whether you feel like he can get all the way up to the lottery, I don't know. Usually those type of picks are held for guys that with younger, higher upside potential as far as their athletic profile, like you talked about. And then those are usually younger guys in there where they feel like that ceiling is super duper high. But for Danny Wolf, man, he's been playing well. He brings a skill set that's very unique. I think it's something that will be valued in the NBA. Now let's keep it 100. Nobody's going to put the ball in his hands the way he's getting the usage at Michigan. And
I think run like one of the highest usage rates in the country.
Yeah, he's not going to be running 10 to 12 ball screens in the league, but his ability to handle, pass, shoot, see the floor, make plays is going to be a valuable asset for whoever feels like they want to draft him, because it's, man, that's a unique skill set at 7 feet. So I think the taller you get, the less that athletic profile needs to be elite, right? Because the length itself, helps
But
you
we want to
in a lot of
slide to
those
the
ways.
perimeter and do more perimeter things, then that athletic profile becomes more important, right? Just like
Yeah.
Wemby, a guy like Wemby is 7'4", right? His athletic profile becomes important when you say that, hey, he's at that size and he's nimble and athletic and agile enough to not only play offensively on the perimeter, but guard on the perimeter as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what I'm talking about when I say, hey, I don't. But you never know. Like, it only takes one team to like you. It only takes one
team.
GM to fall in love with you, and you can go from being, Ivy League to lottery pick. So I hope it happens. So I don't want anybody to take it as
because everybody think you a Wolf hater.
Nah,
that's what everybody think. You a Wolf hater.
Yeah, I know. That's
what the streets are saying.
That's what someone how the conversation goes on another show, but that's not really. You sit around talking basketball. That's not how we talk basketball. So.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think he's putting himself in position, man. He's been playing well. The skill set is there, but who's really, really impressed me, and I think who's going to have a long career in the NBA is Vlad Goldin.
Yeah.
I think what he's been showing right now at 7'1" is like his ability to be a finisher at the rim, his ability to be a defender. I think right now he's playing much better in those muscle areas. When you get the mad Vlad, he's getting rebounds, with contested rebounds out of his area. He's finishing strong at the rim. And now he's even showing that touch from outside. So that's showing the profile that, hey, I've been working on my game.
Yeah.
I'm calm. I'm confident with the ball around the rim. And I've shown the ability in game situations to go out there and step out there and make 3-point shots. So that's just ups his stock and his profile if he continues to improve the way he's improving, even as a fourth-year guy, senior guy. He's putting himself in a great position in that 7'1". Like I said, you can't teach the height, man. You can't teach the height, and be able to do the things that he's doing out there on the court is very impressive. So I think Michigan got two guys, man. They got two guys with a great shot.
There's a clear NBA comparison or clear NBA role for him. Like we see from other guys already. We talked about it before. Names like Zubac, Steven Adams, guys of that nature that are more, screen and rolling and short rolling and things. And there's obvious comparisons to him around the league. That the kid that just got drafted from UConn, Clennigan. You know what I mean?
Klingon, you got your Walker Kesslers before. You got guys like that who are, rim running, shot blocking, finishing bigs that, can play with some touch and do some things. So, I mean, that role is there for him.
Yeah.
But Danny Wolf is Joker-ish?
Ish?
Yeah. He got a little bit of that in him, man. I like his game. But
Now, I love him. I love him in the mid post. I think in his size and his ability to handle the ball and pass, being able to dribble into that mid post and attack closeouts, you know what I mean? That he's really good. So
good, man.
I don't want anybody to think that.
Don't be hating on the big fella. I know you guards those, man. You big fellas getting the post. No, baby, I'm out here boogieing. You get the boogie, I get the boogie. If I had the ability to boogie like he can, hey, give me a couple of those, man. Don't be talking about, hey, get your butt in the post. No, we boogieing. We are boogieing out here, man. But hey, that's another great show, man. I love this. We're gonna continue to do these with more and more film breakdown, man. You got two guys who've been around the game for a long time and a lot of capacities, played, coached. So we're gonna try to break this film down for you guys out there, man, and continue to give you that great content and some insight, from the Big Game podcast with Chris Hunter and Daniel Horton, man. This is another good one, man. Until next time. We'll see you.
See you.